What if everything you're desperately trying to hold on to is the very thing that's holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be? The answer to this question could completely change how you approach your life, your goals, and your peace. And we'll reach it together by the end of this video. We are taught from an early age that success means accumulation, collecting achievements, titles, relationships, possessions, followers. The more we gather, the more secure we feel. But somewhere along the way, we begin to suffocate under the weight of everything we thought we needed. We hold tightly to identities we've outgrown, to relationships that no longer align, to habits that drain us, and to thoughts that poison our clarity. And we call it stability. We call it comfort. But in truth, it is fear disguised as loyalty. The Stoics, however, approached life differently. For them, strength wasn't about adding more. It was about learning to live well with less. They believed that what truly matters is not what we possess, but what we can let go of. Because the things we cling to often cling back. They define us, shape our decisions, cloud our judgment, and silently control us. And sometimes, the only way to reclaim our freedom is to release what we never needed in the first place. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. It's not about giving up. It's about making space. Space for new thoughts, new habits, new directions, and new strength. But the problem is, we rarely see what we're holding until life forces us to let go. We get attached to outcomes, identities, and expectations. We think, if I don't have this, I won't be happy. Or, if I lose that, I'll fall apart. This attachment becomes a silent contract between who we are and who we're afraid to become. The Stoic mind does not avoid discomfort. It faces it. It examines it. It asks, why am I afraid to release this? What am I afraid will happen if I let go? And more importantly, who might I become if I do? These are not questions for the faint of heart, because they require truth. And truth is rarely convenient, but it is always freeing. There are many forms of attachment. We get attached to the version of ourselves that others expect. We get attached to the approval of people who don't even know us. We cling to jobs, habits, routines, even pain, because it's familiar. Because we think letting go would mean starting over, and starting over feels like failure. But it's not. Starting over is one of the bravest acts you can perform, because it means you're choosing growth over stagnation. It means you're choosing truth over illusion. Think about your current struggles. Is there something you're forcing to work? A relationship, a dream, an image you're trying to maintain? Ask yourself honestly, am I holding on because it's right, or because I'm scared to let go? The Stoics would remind you, nothing permanent is truly yours. Everything can be taken, health, wealth, status, even life itself. So what's left? Only what you've cultivated within, your wisdom, your courage, your character. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. There's a difference. The Stoic can love deeply, but not desperately. They can work hard without being enslaved by results. They can value people without becoming dependent on their validation. This emotional independence isn't cold, it's clear. It allows you to move through the world with grace, to act with integrity, and to remain unshaken by changes beyond your control. Letting go is also about shedding illusions. The illusion that you're behind in life, that you need to compete, that you need to be constantly visible, constantly validated. The illusion that rest is weakness, that silence is failure, that discomfort means something's wrong. The Stoic knows that peace isn't found in controlling more, but in needing less. And the only way to need less is to release the expectations that make you feel small. Think about the energy you've spent trying to force outcomes, to keep up appearances, to prove something to someone else. Now imagine what would happen if you redirected that energy into building something real, something internal, like discipline or presence or clarity. Letting go isn't loss. It's a transfer of power from the external to the internal. You stop chasing and start becoming. We often believe that holding on shows strength, but sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. to let go of a story you've told yourself for years, to stop fighting battles that don't align with your purpose, to say, "This no longer fits the person I am becoming." That is not failure. That is transformation. And transformation always requires release. The Stoics practiced letting go daily, not out of despair, but out of discipline. They imagined losing everything so they could appreciate what truly mattered. They kept death in mind, not to be morbid, but to stay awake to life. They let go of ego, of control, of noise, so they could live deliberately and meaningfully. This is not detachment in the cold sense. It is freedom born from clarity. Letting go is not always loud. Sometimes, it's a quiet decision made in the middle of an ordinary day. A choice to stop trying to win someone back. A decision to turn off your phone and turn inward. A realization that you don't have to explain your growth to anyone. It's in those moments that strength is built, not in applause, but in silence. And now, let's return to the question that opened this reflection. What if everything you're desperately trying to hold on to is the very thing that's holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be? The answer is simple, but powerful. It is. The truth is, you cannot rise while carrying what weighs you down. You cannot step forward if you're anchored to the past. You cannot expand if you refuse to release. What you release defines what you're ready for. Letting go isn't an end. It's a beginning. It's a door. And on the other side of that door is a lighter, clearer, stronger version of you. One who is no longer defined by what they hold, but by what they have the courage to release. That is the Stoic path. That is how you rise. Quietly, completely, and free.